Hi Willie. As promised, and it took a little while, I'm gonna do the stop trick and my thoughts on that. And because I need a spectator, there's my loving wife. That's Teresa. Say hi Willie.
Hi, Willie.
Alright. Anyhow, and but it's an old classic effect, uh, but it's one of the strongest in my repertoire under certain circumstances. I only do this, almost only do this, when someone says, that was great sleight of hand. And people say this a lot, it's great sleight of hand, but I don't like people saying this because it's a very generic, it's a compliment, they mean it as a compliment, but of course sleight of hand is, it's an explanation, however generic it may be. And so I always do this as an experiment, and I tell them, well, yeah, sleight of hand is when you do things with your hands, but this is an experiment, and in this experiment I want you to shuffle the cards, and I hand them the cards to shuffle, and then they shuffle the cards anyway they feel like, and I usually tell them the story about intuition, how an off-duty cop actually managed to stop a car because without himself actually knowing it, but subconsciously he saw that there were some bugs splattered on the rear license plate, and the license plate was stolen and so forth, and you know, stories about intuition. And when they're done shuffling, and I always do this, you shuffle whatever, you're satisfied that you shuffled. I tend to usually say put your faith in the Lord but always cut the cards, put your faith in Providence but always cut the cards, and I cut the cards. And when you feel like it, you just say stop. Just take the card, go ahead, have a look at the card, don't show me, put it back wherever. You pick up all the cards and you shuffle again. And again, shuffle as much or as little as you want to. And this has got to be very, very fair. And this is not a, well, she's my wife, but it's not a stooge. So whenever you're done shuffling, actually you probably should have showed the card to the camera, but she's not lying. She won't be lying. I'll make sure of that. Cards are shuffled and cut as much or as little as you wanted to, and let me see, if I look through the cards, I have about one chance in 52. Well, 53 was a joker in there, but either way, you take the cards in your hand as if you're dealing in a game of cards, and you very slowly place the first card face down there, and take the next card in your hand first, and if you feel like it, you put it down there, and the next card, and whenever you feel like stopping, you stop. You want to stop, you want to put it down, you want to put it back, wherever you want to put it. You want to put it down, you sure? You want to stop? So this is the next card, the one that you haven't touched. What was the name of your card?
It was a joker.
Turn over the next card, and of course it is the joker. Yes, well, you might say that it's not a stooge, really. But the explanation for this is, and then that's the reason why I want to have a spectator, is because of course it doesn't always work that way. Let's say, it usually does work that way actually, but let's say we'll do it differently. We'll do it again. Let's say the cards are shuffled, and you take any card, whichever card you want, and the cards are truly shuffled. Let's say she misses the first card. You look at it, of course you can't let me see it. And you put it back whenever you want to. Here, doesn't matter. You've shuffled the cards before, and you know all of this, and you can shuffle the cards again and you look for the key card. Anyhow, very briefly to the, I'm sorry, I should do this again. Let's say that the card was the Jack of Spades, and let's say, let's just do that again. You take the cards and deal cards one at a time on the table, just to deal until whenever you feel like stopping. But deal a little further this time. Just deal down on the deck. I say stop. Let's say you say stop here, and I say you want the top card. I actually just look through that usually, and I just do a side steal, and I get it to the top. But I say, you sure you want this card? You could have any other card. It's entirely up to you. And it really doesn't matter to me. I mean, if you want to say stop on this card, you could. If you want to keep going, you could do that. Point is, I mean, I do. if they say I don't want this card, I want the next card, I say, well, just bury the card in there wherever you want to. Just give me the next card. And you do a top change. And at any rate, the whole thing about this effect is you have to me, it's not about technique. It's just about selling it. And then I don't know if this comes across here, but it suits my personality because I can talk this up. I mean, I can talk, and the last thing I want to say about this particular effect is I've had a guy, a banker, hold on to it like this, and he asked me, he said, are these card tricks or is this actually real? I've had a professor of mathematics do the whole thing about this is sleight of hand, a very good sleight of hand, and when I did this for him, he just sat, he took off his glasses and he just sat there like this, because this it's a lot more intellectual than say the card in a beer bottle or something, but it is it's a very nice effect, and it's about body language. And in this context, I want to show you one more thing, just because I do have a spectator. We'll try this. If you just say stop whenever you feel like it, stop right there. And it did take me some coaxing to get my wife to take part in this, but she does, and she said stop wherever. And if I just give the cards a shuffle like so, maybe this card coming from the center, maybe it is your card. Now let me cut them again. Maybe this card. In fact, this is probably not your card. But look, right here inside the circle, this is for your card changing to whatever, and it changes into your card. And that's the other thing I wanted to tell you. This is the Roberto Giobbi bit. He said there's two ways of changing your card. One would be a top change. You do this. You have a single card and it changes. That's very good. And usually a double lift is not near as good, because you have to use the deck, and the deck is only there because you need it for technical reasons. And he did this for me, and of course you know what a double lift is. But if you do this, and you say it's inside this thing here, inside the circle, this is where the magic happens, and you can do all of this. And say inside the circle, right there. And that circle takes all the heat off the deck, and it's almost as good, or probably as good as a top change. Anyhow, I just want to share that with you. And while we're still on the subject, I'm going to do all of these on one thing. You of course know the Charlie Miller table pass, which is a nice table shift, and very quickly. It looks good on a table, but it looks crappy from the performance side. But I thought, and this is just something I'm playing around with, I thought it's nice to just take the cards in your hand. You just do that. It's not invisible. I have no idea how it looks like, but it has a very nice rhythm to it. There's the least bit of distraction that you give while you have them in your hand, and I think it looks good. And the very last thing, this infinity shift, I like this. And the way the guy does it, which is great, he pushes the cards over and then does this. And I thought, let me do this with the cards face up. If say usually you'd hold a break like this, but in this case you're not holding any break, you're just straddling the top half. And it's one of those things that, in your words, it just feels good. It almost looks natural from the front. You're not holding a break, you're straddling the top half, and the mechanics of the thing are, it does itself. I mean, it does the whole thing. You're not doing anything. The mechanics do the work. They just do this. It's like the Macmillan switch. You're not doing anything. The card, this card, it pushes out the other card. If you just do this, it pushes out the other card. You're not doing anything at all. It's the physics of the move that if you just turn this over, this card gets pushed out, and with that infinity pass, it's the same thing. So if you have this, as long as you hold on to this, you don't have to do anything else. There's no, like the guy says, there is no dip, and it has a nice feel to it. Anyhow, I think those were the ones that I wanted to share with you, and thank you for your attention. I hope you like some of them. The next one I'm going to do, I actually have to reread that, is that follow the leader from Darwin Ortiz. Thank you. Turn it off, please, Henry. Thank you. Bye.